Listen, darling, I am about to share something with you that is going to sound absolutely wild at first, but I want you to stay with me because what I am about to reveal has changed the lives of countless people who were exactly where you are right now, staring at their bank account like it is some kind of cosmic joke. Tonight, you are going to learn the ancient art of calling money by name, and I promise you, the universe is listening far more carefully than you ever imagined. Now, I know exactly what you are thinking. You are sitting there, wondering if this is going to be another one of those fluffy manifestation videos where someone tells you to just think positive thoughts while your bills pile up like unwanted relatives at Thanksgiving. Trust me, I get it. You have tried the vision boards. You have repeated the affirmations until your voice went hoarse. You have watched every manifestation guru on the internet, and you have bought the crystals. You have set the intentions, and yet somehow money still treats you like you are playing an eternal game of hide and seek. Except money is really, really good at hiding, and you are exhausted from seeking. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. You have been calling money all wrong this entire time. You have been shouting into the void like someone trying to get cell service in the middle of nowhere, wondering why the universe has you on red. But what if I told you that money, like everything else in this magnificent universe, responds to specificity, to intention, and to being called by its proper name? What if the reason your financial prayers seem to bounce off the ceiling is because you have been speaking in generalities when the universe only responds to specifics? Let me paint you a picture that will change how you think about prayer and decree forever. Imagine walking into a crowded room filled with hundreds of people and yelling, "Hey person." Do you think anyone is going to turn around with enthusiasm? Probably not. They will look around confused and maybe a little annoyed, wondering if you are talking to them or someone else. Most people will just keep walking because your call lacked a target. But call someone by their actual name. Look them in the eye and speak with intention, and watch how quickly they respond. Watch how they lean in and how they give you their full attention because they have been recognized. The universe works exactly the same way, my dear. The infinite intelligence is not a vague cloud of mist. It is a divine design of absolute precision. When you vaguely wish for more money, or financial abundance, or just generically hope that things get better, you are basically sending out the spiritual equivalent of a mass email that nobody opens. The universe gets thousands of those a day from people all over the world who are just wishing and hoping and tossing coins into a fountain of maybe. But when you call money by its specific numerical name, with purpose and precision and absolute clarity, suddenly you have sent a personalized invitation with a wax seal, and the universe RSVPs with a resounding yes. This is the secret art of calling money home. You must realize that in the spiritual realm, everything has a frequency, and every frequency has a signature. When you are vague, you are broadcasting static. When you are specific, you are broadcasting a laser beam. The divine treasury is already full. It is overflowing with every dollar and every cent you could ever require, but it requires the correct cosmic name to release those funds to your account. That name is not just the word money. That name is the exact figure of your requirement. It is the $3,247 for the car repair. It is the $1,500 for the rent due on the 1st. It is the numerical vibration that matches the need of the moment. Many people are afraid to be specific because they think they are being greedy, or they fear that if they name a number and it does not show up, they will be disappointed. But specificity is not greed, it is clarity. And clarity is power. The universe is the most obedient genie you could ever imagine, but it cannot fulfill an order it does not understand. If you go to a restaurant and tell the waiter, "I am hungry and I want food," you are going to be sitting there for a very long time. The waiter needs to know if you want steak or salad or soup. He needs the name of the dish. You are the architect of your reality, and an architect does not give a builder a vague sketch of a house. He provides a blueprint with exact measurements down to the fraction of an inch. If he does not provide those specifics, the house will collapse, or it will never be built at all. Your financial life has been a series of half-built houses because you have been too afraid or too lazy to provide the blueprints. Tonight we change that. We are moving away from the "if it be thy will" style of wishing and moving into the "I call it by name" style of commanding. You are stepping into a version of yourself that speaks a different language. You are no longer a beggar at the gates of plenty. You are the child of the king who knows how to fill out the requisition form for the royal treasury. The universe is waiting for you to get specific. It is waiting for you to stop the generalities and start the decrees. This is the beginning of your financial awakening, and once you understand how to use the cosmic name of your supply, you will never look at a bill or a bank statement with fear ever again. Words, darling, are everything. We must return to the foundational truth that in the beginning was the Word, and your words are not just sounds vibrating through the air or casual noises you make to fill the silence. They are creative forces. They are the seeds you are planting in the fertile soil of the subconscious mind, and they are commands being answered in real time by the infinite intelligence. The problem we face is that most people are walking through their lives as if they are blindfolded accidentally, commanding poverty and struggle into their experience with the very words they use every single day. You must understand that the universe operates as the most obedient genie you could ever imagine. This genie does not have a sense of humor, and it certainly does not have the power of discrimination. It does not look at you and say, "Oh, they do not really mean. They are broke. They are just having a bad day." No, darling, the genie is a perfect servant that takes every statement you utter as a direct order. If you wake up and check your bank account and sigh while saying, "I am so broke," the genie bows and says, "Your wish is my command," and then it goes to work, arranging circumstances to ensure you stay broke. If you see a beautiful home or a luxury car and immediately whisper, "I cannot afford that," the genie records that as a legal contract and delivers more situations where you truly cannot afford the things you desire. You have been ordering lack, and the universe has been a faithful waiter bringing you exactly what you have ordered. Every single thing in your life right now, from the balance in your wallet to the quality of your relationships, is a direct result of the words you have been speaking and the stories you have been telling yourself about what is possible for as you. Most people are hypnotized by their current circumstances. They look at a low balance and they report on it as if they are news anchors describing a tragedy. But you are not meant to be a reporter of reality. You are meant to be a creator of reality. The universe operates on a principle that ancient wisdom keepers have understood for millennia, and that modern science is only now beginning to prove. Everything is energy, and energy responds to vibration. Your words carry a specific frequency. When you speak words of lack, you are broadcasting a heavy, dense, and low frequency that repels the light and rapid frequency of wealth. Money is energy too, and it is a current that seeks channels to flow through. If your radio is tuned to the station of poverty, you cannot hear the music of millions. You are matching the vibration of what you do not want, and then wondering why the things you do want are not showing up. This is why the law of reframing is a non-negotiable spiritual requirement for your success. You must stop using poverty language immediately. I mean this with absolute seriousness. From this moment forward, every single time you catch yourself starting to say, "I am broke," or "money is tight," or "I am not good with money," you must stop mid-sentence. You must bite your tongue if you have to, because every time you finish that sentence, you are renewing your subscription to struggle. This is not about toxic positivity. It is not about walking around with a fake smile pretending that your bills do not exist while they pile up like unwanted relatives at Thanksgiving. That is delusion. What I am teaching you is conscious creation. It is the act of speaking from the reality you are building instead of the reality you are leaving behind. You are an architect who is moving out of a crumbling shack and into a palace. You do not spend your time describing the holes in the roof of the shack. You spend your time discussing the blueprints of the palace. Let us look at how we reframe these poisonous statements into power decrees. Instead of saying, "I am broke," which is a dead-end statement that shuts down the universe, you must try saying, "I am in the process of calling in my money right now." Do you feel the difference in those words? One is a tombstone, and the other is a bridge. One says the story is over, and the other says the story is just getting interesting. When you say, "I am calling in my money," you are acknowledging that the wealth exists in the invisible realm, and you are simply the magnet drawing it into the visible. Instead of saying, "I cannot afford it," which is a confession of powerless lack, you must say, "I am choosing to direct my resources elsewhere right now." This reframing restores your power. It tells the universe that you are a steward of your supply and that you are making conscious decisions rather than being a victim of a price tag. Even better, you can say, "I am calling in the money for that." By saying this, you are placing an order for the specific amount required to obtain the object of your desire. You are giving the genie a new command to find the funds instead of a command to confirm the lack. Instead of saying, "Money is so hard for me," you must say, "Money flows to me easily, and I am getting better at receiving it every day." Most people have a fear of receiving because they have been taught that they must earn every penny through sweat and toil. But wealth in the divine treasury is a gift of grace. When you say you are getting better at receiving, you are opening the floodgates. You are telling the universe that you are ready for the easy path. One way of speaking broadcasts lack and limitation, while the other broadcasts choice, expectation, and movement towards something better. The universe is always listening, and it is always responding to your dominant frequency. If you spend 80% of your day talking about what you do not have, the universe has no choice but to keep giving you more of what you do not have. You must change the record. You must stop the mental chatter that says you are not lucky or that money only likes other people. Think of it as matching the vibration. You are no longer trying to have a conversation in English with someone who only speaks French and wondering why they are not understanding you. When you use poverty language, you are speaking a language the divine economy does not recognize. But when you use the language of expectation and authority, you are finally speaking the same language as the abundance you seek. You are aligning with the flow. You are becoming a magnet instead of a repellent. Every powerful person who has ever walked this earth understood that their word was their wand. They knew that they could not afford the luxury of a negative thought or a careless word. They treated their speech like a precious currency. They knew that if they spoke of failure, they were inviting failure to dinner. They knew that if they spoke of wealth, they were building a home for it. Tonight, I want you to begin the practice of being a strict guardian of your own mouth. Catch yourself before the lack leaves your lips. If you are with friends and they start complaining about the economy, do not join in. You do not need to be a lecturer, but you must remain silent or change the subject to something expansive. You cannot afford to participate in the collective hallucination of scarcity. You are a child of an abundant universe, and it is time you started speaking like one. You are shifting from a victim who is pushed by circumstances to a creator who pulls circumstances toward them. This is the heart of the awakening. It is the realization that your world is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Your words are the remote control of your reality. If you do not like the show you are watching, you must change the channel. You change the channel by reframing your language. By the time you finish this practice, you will realize that you have a new identity. You are no longer the person who is struggling to make ends meet. You are the person who is calling money by name and giving it a mission. You are the person who understands that the genie is waiting for your next command. Make sure it is a command worth fulfilling. Make sure it is a command that reflects the glory of the infinite supply that is your divine birthright. As you move into the next phase of this training, where we talk about the cosmic warehouse and the specificity of your needs, remember that the foundation is your word. Without a clean and clear vocabulary of abundance, your specific requests will be drowned out by the static of your old habits. Clean the vessel of your speech, and the universe will fill it to overflowing. You are powerful, and you are expectant, and the genie is standing by, ready to deliver. Now that we have established the sanctity of your spoken word and cleaned the vessel of your speech through the law of reframing, we must move into the practical logistics of the divine economy. You must understand that the universe does not operate on vague whims or general desires. The infinite intelligence is a system of absolute and terrifying precision. I like to think of the universe as a vast and limitless cosmic warehouse. Imagine a facility that stretches across dimensions filled with every resource, every sum of money, every opportunity, and every luxury you could ever imagine. This warehouse is already stocked, and your name is already on the inventory. However, this warehouse operates with the efficiency of a high-tech logistics center. If you were to go onto a website like Amazon and simply type the word clothes into the search bar and hit order, you would receive nothing. The system would not know if you wanted a winter coat or a silk tie or a pair of running shoes. It would not know the size or the color or the brand. Most people are treating their financial lives exactly like this. They are sending out vague orders to the cosmic warehouse, saying, "I just want to be rich," or "I just need some help," or "I hope things get better." And the universe, being the perfect logistics manager, simply waits for you to complete the requisition form. It stays silent, not because it is stingy, but because it is waiting for your clarity. The universe does not do vague, it does precision. This is why you must get ridiculously specific about the money you need. I mean down to the penny specific. So specific it might feel excessive to your logical mind, but that is exactly the point. When you are general, you are broadcasting a weak and scattered signal. When you are specific, you are focusing your intent into a laser beam that cuts through the fog of the material world and hits the target in the invisible realm. Remember the example I gave you about the blue ceramic mug. If I tell you to go find a thing in your house, you will stand there confused. But if I tell you to go get the blue ceramic mug with the chipped handle on the second shelf of your kitchen cabinet, the one you got from that little shop on your vacation 3 years ago, you know exactly what to do. You have a clear image in your mind, and you go straight to it. The universe needs that same level of detail from you tonight. Do not just tell the universe you need money for your car. Tell the universe you need $3,247.50 for the specific repair of the transmission, so that your vehicle can operate in perfect safety. This numerical name is the key that unlocks the specific crate in the warehouse that has been waiting for your command. But naming the number is only half of the work. The real breakthrough happens when you give your money a job. You see, darling, money is energy, and energy is designed to move. It is designed to perform a function. Money loves having a purpose, and it wants to know what mission it is being called for. Think of money as a highly skilled employee. If you hire a brilliant person and tell them to just show up to the office and wander around without a job description, they will eventually become frustrated and leave. They will find a place where they are needed and where their skills are put to use. Money works the same way. Money without a purpose is like an employee wandering the halls of the universe, not knowing what to do. But money with a clear and righteous purpose moves heaven and earth to get to you, because it knows it is required for the completion of a divine task. This is where you must deepen your practice. When you call in a specific amount, you must attach it to a mission that connects to your larger vision of an abundant life. Instead of saying, "I need rent money," which carries a vibration of desperation and survival, I want you to say, "I am calling in $1,500 for my rent due on the 1st of the month so that I can live in peace and security and have a safe space to create my dreams and rest my body." Do you feel the shift in that statement? You have given the money a job. Its job is to provide peace. Its job is to provide security. Its job is to protect your body so you can continue your divine work. When you attach meaning to the numbers, you are no longer asking for a favor. You are commanding a resource for the fulfillment of a plan. The universe responds to that level of intention because it recognizes that you are a serious steward of its riches. You are not just asking for cash to hoard it in a corner. You are asking for energy to circulate it into the world. There is a powerful story of a woman who was facing a medical procedure that cost exactly $6,712. For weeks, she had been praying for help, but she was speaking in generalities. She was saying, "I hope I can afford this," or "I need a miracle." Nothing happened. But when she learned this law, she sat down and got specific. She wrote down the exact figure, $6,712. She gave that money a mission. Its mission was to restore her health and vitality so she could continue to be a mother and a teacher. She thanked the universe for this specific sum in advance. Within 2 weeks, she received a call about an old savings bond her grandmother had purchased for her 20 years ago, a bond she had completely forgotten about. When she went to cash it, in the total amount, including 20 years of interest, was exactly $6,712. That is not a coincidence, darling. That is a cosmic match. The warehouse recognized the order because the name and the mission were perfect. Tonight, before you go to sleep, you are going to perform a sacred act of logistics. You are going to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper, and you are going to write down your orders to the cosmic warehouse. I want you to create a list of exact numbers. Do not use estimates and do not use ranges. Do not say between $5,000 and $10,000. The universe does not know which of those thousands to send. Say $9,842. Be honest with yourself. Do not round down because you are afraid the universe will think you are greedy. The divine treasury is infinite, and your rounding down is actually a sign of lack. It is a sign that you do not believe there is enough for everyone. Rounding down is an insult to the Creator who created trillions of stars. If you need a new home that costs $400,000, do not ask for $300,000 just to be reasonable. There is no such thing as being reasonable in the realm of the miraculous. Being reasonable is just another way of being fearful. For every number you write down, I want you to write down its job description. If you are calling in $5,000, write down that $2,000 is for the credit card balance to free your mind from the burden of debt. Write down that $1,000 is for the family vacation to strengthen the bonds of love and joy. Write down that $2,000 is for your savings to act as a seed of future's abundance. Give every dollar a destination. When you do this, you are organizing your consciousness. You are telling the universe that you are a person of order and precision. And order is the first law of heaven. A disorganized mind cannot hold a large fortune. But a mind that is clear, specific, and purposeful becomes a wide open channel for the flow of gold. You are moving from a state of vague wishing to a state of professional manifesting. You are taking your place as a master in the divine economy. The cosmic warehouse is open 24 hours a day, and the inventory is limitless. The only thing missing from the transaction is your clear requisition. Do not be shy, and do not be afraid to ask for what you truly desire. The universe wants you to have it because your prosperity is the universe's way of expressing its own glory. When you are rich and free and secure, you are a living testament to the power of the law. You become a light for others to follow. So, make your list tonight. Call your money by its numerical name. Give it a high and holy mission. And then rest in the absolute certainty that your order has been received and is being processed by the highest power in existence. The delivery is inevitable because you have finally provided the blueprints. You have finally spoken the language of the warehouse, and the response will be swift and perfect. We have placed our specific orders with the cosmic warehouse, and we have given every dollar a holy mission. But now we come to the part where most people fail and where the manifestation usually withers before it reaches the door. We must discuss the spiritual science of faith. If you are beginning to feel the power of these words and you are ready to stop being a victim and start being a creator, I invite you to join our community. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you are making a spiritual statement that you are ready for your breakthrough. Subscribe now and let us continue this journey into the divine treasury together. Now, darling, we must understand that faith is not a vague feeling or a desperate hope that something might happen. The ancient wisdom tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Notice the word substance. Faith is not nothing. It is the actual raw material from which your money is made in the fourth dimension. Before a building exists in the physical world, it exists as a blueprint and a conviction in the mind of the architect. That conviction is the substance. Without that mental substance, the physical building can never appear. This is why you must practice speaking to money like it is already yours, and you must do so with absolute authority. This is where the intellect often rebels. Your logical mind will look at your empty wallet and say you are lying. It will tell you that you are being delusional or pretending. But I am here to tell you that it is not lying, darling. It is claiming. There is a massive, fundamental difference between those two things. Lying is trying to deceive someone about a physical fact. Claiming is recognizing a spiritual truth that has not yet solidified into a physical fact. When you go to a store and buy a piece of furniture that is out of stock, they give you a receipt. You walk out of that store without the furniture in your hands, but you do not say you are lying when you tell your friends you bought a new sofa. You have the receipt. You have the substance of the sofa in the form of a legal claim. Faith is your spiritual receipt from the cosmic warehouse. When you say thank you for the $3,247 that is coming to me, you are not being delusional. You are simply acknowledging that the transaction has already taken place in the spirit. You are operating from the end result. Creation always happens twice. It happens first in the invisible realm of thought, and then it manifests in the visible realm of matter. If you wait to see the money in your bank account before you believe in it, you are trying to work the law backwards, and it will never work for you. Most people say, I will believe it when I see it, but the divine law says you will see it when you believe it. You have to see it in your mind before you see it in your bank account. You have to feel it as real before it becomes real. This is why you must thank the money before it arrives. That act of thanksgiving is the final seal on the contract. It is the vibration that opens the channel for the flow to reach you. Thanksgiving is the highest form of prayer because it acknowledges that the gift is already given. When you ask and beg, you are broadcasting a frequency of lack. You are telling the universe that you do not have the money. And the universe, as the perfect genie, simply says, your wish is my command, and keeps you in a state of not having. But when you thank you are broadcasting a frequency of possession, you are telling the universe that the money is yours, and the universe must rush to match that vibration. Doubt pushes things away, and worry repels, but faith and gratitude are magnets of the highest order. Imagine your faith as a magnetic field. When you are steady and expectant, you are pulling your supply toward you with an irresistible force. But the moment you slip into worry or start asking how or when it will arrive, you are reversing the polarity of your magnet. You are pushing your good away. This is why you must be a master of your own mind. You must refuse to entertain the thoughts of the carnal mind that are based on appearances. You do not care what the bank statement says today. You only care what the divine decree says. The bank statement is just a report of where you were. Your faith is a decree of where you are going. You must start talking about your money in the present and future tense, and never in the wishful past tense. Do not say, I wish I had money, or I used to be able to afford things. Those are the words of a beggar. Say, I am abundant, and my abundance is increasing every single day. Say, money flows to me constantly in expected and unexpected ways. Feel the difference in those statements. One makes you feel small and hopeful in a desperate way, while the other makes you feel powerful and expectant in a confident way. You are a child of the king, and the king's children do not hope for bread, they expect a feast. You must cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you were already in possession of the exact amount of money you called for, how would you breathe? How would you walk? How would you treat other people? You would be relaxed, and you would be generous, and you would be at peace. That is the vibration you must adopt right now while the money is still in the warehouse. You must match the frequency of the wealth before the wealth can manifest in your hands. This is the spiritual law of attraction. Like attracts like. If you want $1 million life, you must have $1 million vibration today. We must also understand that faith is a muscle that must be exercised. It becomes stronger with use. Start with the things you can easily believe for, and as you see the law working for you, your faith will expand to cover the larger sums. But whether you are calling in $100 or $100,000, the process is exactly the same. You name it, you give it a mission, and you thank it into existence. You treat money like the faithful friend. It wants to be already celebrating its arrival before it shows up in your physical reality. This is how the mystics and the masters have always operated. They did not look at the storm. They looked at the peace. They did not look at the lack. They looked at the source. When you walk through your day, I want you to act as if you are backed by a mountain of gold. When you open your bills, do not shrink in fear. Look at the bill and say, thank you for the service this represents, and thank you for the money that is already on its way to pay this in full. By doing this, you are keeping your channel open. You are refusing to let the appearance of a debt stop the flow of your supply. You are standing firm in the holy of holies of your own consciousness. Remember, darling, that the world of the unseen is the real world, and the world of the seen is merely the shadow. Shadows change when the light moves. You are the light, and your faith is the movement that changes the shadows of your financial life. I want you to take this truth deep into your heart tonight. The money you named is not just a possibility. It is a spiritual substance that is already moving toward. It is reorganizing circumstances, and it is touching the minds of people who will become the channels for your supply. Your only job is to stay in the vibration of gratitude and to keep your faith steady. Do not dig up the seed. Do not question the law. Just stay expectant. You are not waiting for the universe to decide if you are worthy. You have already been declared worthy by your very birth. You are simply claiming what has been set aside for you since the foundation of the world. Rest in that certainty and watch as the invisible becomes visible in ways that will absolutely delight and surprise you. If you are beginning to feel the power of this divine clarity and you are ready to fill out your requisition form for the warehouse of the infinite, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for your breakthrough and you are surrounding yourself with the frequency of truth. Join our community of manifestors today and let us unlock your treasury together. So many of us have an adversarial relationship with money, and we must address this wound before the specific sums we have called can truly find a home in our lives. You have named your numbers, and you have claimed them with faith, but now you must look at the quality of the energy you are offering to the very thing you desire. We have been conditioned by our parents and our culture and our religions to be suspicious of wealth. We have picked up weird stories that tell us money is the root of all evil, or that rich people are somehow greedy or less spiritual. We harbor a deep-seated resentment toward our bills and a quiet mistrust of our bank accounts. In reality, most of you are in a dysfunctional relationship with money characterized by disappointment and fear. Think about it this way, darling. If you treated a human friend the way you treat money, they would have left you a long time ago. If you were constantly suspicious of a friend, or if you resent their presence, or if you only talked to them when you wanted something from them, that relationship would wither and die. Money is energy, and it is sensitive to the frequency you project onto it. If you view money as a necessary evil or a mysterious force that only likes other people, you are broadcasting a signal of rejection. You are essentially telling the money to stay away. But here is the truth that will set you free. Money is neutral. It is simply energy, and it is a tool for your expression. It flows to whoever calls it with the clearest signal and whoever has the least resistance. Money is an amplifier. It makes you more of what you already are. If you are a generous person, money makes you more generous, because now you have the resources to bless others on a larger scale. If you are a kind person, money gives you more ways to express that kindness through philanthropy and support. Money does not corrupt good people. It reveals their character. If someone becomes terrible when they get money, they were already terrible. They just did not have the resources to show it fully yet. There is nothing spiritual about being broke, and poverty does not make you noble. It just makes you tired and stressed and limited in your ability to help yourself and the world. You are allowed to want money, and you are allowed to be abundantly and joyfully wealthy. The universe does not have a scarcity problem. It created billions of galaxies with trillions of stars, and it can certainly handle making sure you have enough for your needs and your dreams. To heal this relationship, you must start treating money like a beloved friend. You must greet it with a smile instead of a sigh. I want you to start saying good morning to money when you wake up. This might sound ridiculous at first, but remember that feeling powerful and feeling strange often go hand in hand. By greeting money, you are acknowledging its presence in your life as a welcome guest. You are shifting from a state of ignore and resent to a state of notice and appreciate. You must thank money every time it shows up, no matter how small the amount may be. Even if you find a penny on the sidewalk, do not walk past it. Pick it up and say thank you. Even if you find a single dollar in a pocket, you forgot about acknowledge it with joy. Most people ignore the small amounts because they are focused on what they do not have. They think a penny does not matter. But to the universe, a penny is a sign of flow. When you ignore the penny, you are telling the universe that you are not paying attention and that you are not grateful for the supply that is already arriving. And why would the universe send you millions if you do not even notice the cents? Gratitude is the fastest way to multiply anything in your life, and this brings us to your most important practical tool, the Prosperity Journal. I want you to start keeping a record of every single bit of money and abundance that flows to you every day. This is not a ledger for accounting. It is a spiritual diary of recognition. In this journal, you will write down your paycheck, yes, but you will also write down the refund you received, or the $5 a friend paid you back. You will write down the discount you got at the store, and the free coffee someone bought you. You will even write down the gift of a meal, or a coupon that saved you money. You must count it all, and you must thank it all. When you start seeing how much money actually flows to you, even now when you think you do not have enough, you will realize that money has been trying to reach you all along. You have just been too stuck in lack thinking to notice it. By writing it down, you are training your eyes to see the invisible supply, and you are training your heart to stay in the frequency of plenty. The universe is always watching, and it responds to what you notice. If you notice lack, the universe gives you more lack. If you notice flow, the universe gives you more flow. The Prosperity Journal forces you to stay in the vibration of flow. It creates a wave of collective energy within your own household. When you look back at the end of a week and see 50 entries of abundance, you cannot possibly tell yourself the story that you are broke. The evidence will be right there in your own handwriting. You will see that you are a person whom money likes. You will see that you are a magnet for discounts and gifts and opportunities. This shifts your identity from a seeker to a receiver. You begin to expect money to show up in expected and unexpected ways. You begin to walk with the confidence of someone who knows the treasury is open. This practice of journaling and greeting money heals the deep adversarial wounds of the past. It clears the air between you and your supply. You are no longer suspicious of wealth. You are a welcoming host for it. You are no longer a victim of a dysfunctional relationship. You are a partner in a divine collaboration. As you heal this bond, you will find that the specific amounts you called for in Part 3 begin to move toward you with much greater speed. The friction is gone. The static has cleared. You are finally speaking the language of money, and money is delighted to find someone who appreciates its service. You are building a life where abundance is not a rare miracle, but a daily reality. You are standing in your power, and you are ready for the next level of command. You have cleared the space, and you have invited the guest, Now it is time to issue the decree that will seal your destiny. Keep your journal close and your heart open, for the flow is increasing every single day. We have healed the relationship with money, and we have begun to notice the small streams of abundance in our prosperity journal. But now, we must move into the most potent hour of spiritual work, which is the hour of the midnight decree. You must understand that there is a sacred window of time just before you drift into sleep, when the veil between your conscious intellect and your subconscious mind is at its thinnest. Throughout the day, your intellect acts as a skeptical guard at the gate of your mind, questioning everything and doubting the possibility of miracles. But as you prepare for sleep, that guard grows tired, and the gateway to the subconscious swings wide open. This is the moment when you have the most direct access to the master genie within you. Most people waste this precious time by scrolling through social media or worrying about the problems of tomorrow. But tonight, you have an assignment from the universe itself. You are going to use this time to issue a formal command to the infinite intelligence. You are going to move from being a victim who wishes for money to being a creator who calls it forth by name. To begin this practice, you must first create a sanctuary for your consciousness. Sit quietly for just 5 minutes before you lay down to sleep. This is not optional if you truly wish to change your financial life. Turn off the television and put your phone in another room. The digital world is filled with the static of other people's opinions, and you cannot hear the voice of your own supply if you are plugged into the noise of the collective. Get centered in your physical body and take 3 deep breaths to calm your mind and drop your awareness from your head into your heart. As you breathe, imagine that you are clearing away the dust of the day and preparing a clean throne for the king to sit upon. When you feel a sense of peace and absolute stillness, you are ready to speak directly to the universe. You are not begging a stingy God for favors or hoping that some mysterious force will pity you. You are talking to your best friend, your loving parent, and your most devoted partner who wants nothing more than to see you thrive. Now, you must issue the command using the specific numerical names we developed in the Cosmic Warehouse. This is where you speak with authority. You might say something like this: Universe, God, Source, whatever name resonates with your soul, I am calling in exactly the money I need right now. I am calling in $12,000 to pay off my credit card debt in full and free my mind from the burden of interest and obligation. I am calling in $3,000 to build my emergency fund so that I can sleep peacefully at night, knowing I am protected and secure. I am calling in $2,000 for that course I want to take that will help me grow my skills and my income. I am calling in $500 extra this month for groceries and breathing room. I call this money by name, and I call it with purpose, and I call it with absolute faith and expectation. I claim it is already mine, already on its way, and already moving through the universe toward me right now. I thank you for delivering it to me in perfect timing, in ways that surprise and delight me, through channels expected and unexpected. I am ready to receive, and I am open to receive, and I am grateful to receive. And so it is. Do you feel the shift that happens in your very cells when you speak with that kind of clarity and authority? That is not the energy of hoping, that is the energy of commanding. There is a massive fundamental difference between a prayer of petition and a decree of command. A petition asks for permission, but a decree claims a right. When you call your money by name, you are finally speaking the language of the universe. You are telling the Master Genie exactly what you want, and you are giving it the blueprints to build. The universe responds to people who know what they want and are not afraid to ask for it specifically and confidently. Confidence is magnetic, and clarity is powerful, and specificity is unstoppable. When you combine all 3 in the hour of the midnight decree, you become an irresistible force in the world of manifestation. You are essentially reorganizing the atoms of your reality while your body rests. While you sleep, the subconscious mind goes to work like a faithful servant, arranging the circumstances and the people and the events necessary to deliver the very specific order you just placed. Think about a captain of a great ship. He does not go down to the engine room and try to turn the gears himself. He stands on the bridge, and he issues a clear command to the crew. He trusts that the crew knows their job and that the engines will respond to his order. He does not stand there and wonder if the ship will actually move. He knows it will, because he has the authority to command it. You are the captain of your soul, and your words are the commands that move the engines of the universe. When you issue your midnight decree, you must do so with the same certainty as that captain. You must then release the order completely. Do not lay in bed wondering how the money will arrive or if you spoke the words correctly. That is like pulling a seed out of the ground to see if it is growing. Once the command is issued, your work is done for the night. You must fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must fall asleep wearing your royal robe of prosperity and feeling the weight of the gold already in your hand. Many of you have spent years calling money by the wrong names. You have called it hard to get or scarce or a struggle. You have been issuing decrees of poverty every night before you slept by worrying about your bills. Tonight, you are changing the programming. You are moving from a version of yourself that is powerless to a version that is powerful. This practice is the bridge between the world of ideas and the world of physical bank accounts. By naming your money and giving it a job, you are making it real in the fourth dimension. You are creating a spiritual vacuum that the physical world is compelled to fill. It is a law of physics that nature abhors a vacuum. When you clear away the static of lack and create a clear, specific space for your wealth, the universe must rush in to fill that space. This is how the masters have always operated. They did not wait for the evidence to believe. They provided the command and then watched for the evidence. I want you to realize that the universe is actually excited to respond to your specific call. It loves to show off its creativity and its abundance. It loves to surprise you with how perfectly it can deliver. But it cannot show off if you are too vague. It cannot surprise you if you are too afraid to ask for what you truly need. Tonight, be bold and be brave. If you need $10,000, do not ask for $5,000 just to be reasonable. There is nothing reasonable about a universe that created billions of galaxies. Your reasonable is the universe's tiny. Ask for the amount that will truly give you peace and allow you to fulfill your mission. If you are alone, speak your decree out loud so that your own ears can hear the authority in your voice. There is power in the spoken word that vibrates through the atmosphere. If you have family or roommates around you, speak it in your mind with the same intensity and the same clarity as if you were shouting it from the rooftops. The universe hears the vibration of your intent more than the volume of your voice. As you drift into sleep after your decree, let your last thought be one of total gratitude. Say thank you, as if the money has already landed in your account. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This gratitude is the seal on the contract. It tells the subconscious mind that the deal is done and that there is nothing left to worry about. You are moving into a state of absolute rest because you know that the highest power in existence is now handling the logistics of your life. You have called your money by name, and you have given it a mission, and you have claimed it with faith. You have done your part as the creator of your circumstances, and now the universe will do its part as the provider of your supply. You are about to wake up in a different reality because you are going to sleep as a different person. You are no longer a seeker. You are a commander, and the universe always obeys the commander who speaks with clarity and name. Rest well, darling, for your harvest is being prepared in the silence of the night. Now that we have issued our midnight decree and spoken the specific numerical names of our supply into the fertile darkness of the subconscious mind, we must address the elephant in the room because I know exactly what some of you are thinking. You are wondering if you can truly just sit on your couch and call money by name and expect it to materialize out of thin air while you eat chips and watch reruns and do absolutely nothing different with your life. I am here to tell you with absolute love and clarity that this is not how the spiritual law works. The universe has never once failed to respond to genuine faith, But that faith must be backed by inspired action. There is a massive, fundamental difference between the hard labor of the world and the inspired action of the Spirit. The world tells you that you must struggle and sweat and push against obstacles to earn a pittance, but the divine economy operates on a principle of co-creation. The universe provides the substance, but you must provide the movement. You are in a partnership with the infinite, and a partner who does not show up for work is not a partner at all. The universe meets you halfway. It sets up the opportunities, but you have to be willing to walk through the doors. It arranges the circumstances, but you have to show up at the right time. It sends you the ideas, but you have to be the one to implement them. This is the point where most people stumble because they wait for the money to arrive before they are willing to move. But the law requires you to move first to prove that you believe the money is already yours. This is the flicking of the first domino. The universe has set up a perfect sequence of events to deliver your $3,247 or your $12,000, but it is waiting for your signal of active faith. You must be willing to take the inspired actions that come to you. These are not the frantic actions of a worried mind. They are the calm and joyful actions of a mind that knows the result is guaranteed. When you get a sudden and irrational urge to call that person you haven't talked to in months, do not question it and do not delay. Make the call. When you see a job posting that makes your heart skip, or you hear about an opportunity that lights up something inside of you, follow that light immediately. You do not need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just have to trust that the next step will be lit when you get there. I have seen this work in the most remarkable and mind-blowing ways because the universe is wildly and creatively abundant in how it delivers. I remember a person who was in desperate need of exactly $6,712 for a necessary medical procedure. They had no idea where this money would come from, and they were staring at a deadline that seemed impossible. But they decided to apply the law of specificity. They called that exact amount by name every single day. They gave it a specific mission, which was the restoration of their health, and they thanked the universe in advance with the confidence of a child receiving a gift. They did not sit in gloom. They went about their business and stayed open to hunches. Within 2 weeks, they received a call from a relative about an old savings bond their grandmother had purchased for them 20 years ago. They had completely forgotten it existed. When they went to the bank to cash it in, the total amount, including 20 years of matured interest, was exactly $6,712. That is not a coincidence, darling. That is the universe responding to a clear and specific call with a specific numerical match. The universe found a channel that already existed in the invisible and brought it into the visible the moment the faith was backed by the action of naming and expecting. Consider another person who needed exactly $3,000 for their rent by the end of the month and had absolutely no prospects for how to earn it. They were tempted to slip back into poverty, thinking and to start complaining that money is tight, but they held firm to the royal robe of prosperity. They called that $3,000 by name, and they gave it the job of providing peace and security. They took inspired actions as they felt them. They updated their professional profile, and they reached out to old contacts, not out of desperation, but out of a feeling of expansion. In the very last week of the month, seemingly out of nowhere, they were contacted by a former client who wanted to hire them for a freelance project. When they discussed the fee, the client offered a flat rate of exactly $3,000 and asked if they could start immediately. These are the evidences of miracles that happen when you understand that your word is the command and your action is the acceptance. But here is something else that is absolutely crucial, and this is the hidden reason why many people self-sabotage their success. When the money starts showing up, and it will, I promise you it will, you must receive it without guilt or suspicion. This is a massive block for so many. You finally call money in, and things start shifting, and then you panic. You think it is too good to be true. You wonder what you did to deserve it, or you feel guilty for having abundance when you see others struggling. This guilt is a poison that tells the universe you are not actually ready for your blessing. If you immediately spend it all just to get rid of the discomfort of having it, or if you create a sudden emergency that eats up the money, you are telling the genie that you cannot handle the gift. Stop that nonsense right now. You called it by name and you gave it purpose. You claimed it with faith and you took the actions required. You absolutely deserve every single penny that comes to you because you are a child of an abundant universe. Receive it with joy and celebrate it and steward it well. Use it to create more good in your life and more good in the world. Your abundance does not take away from anyone else. It proves to everyone else what is possible when they too learn to speak the language of the divine treasury. You must become a master of receiving just as much as you are a master of calling. When someone offers you a gift or a discount, do not say, "Oh, you shouldn't have." Say, "Thank you, I accept this with gratitude." When a new opportunity appears, do not question the timing or think you are not ready. If the universe sent it, you are ready. The universe does not play favorites, and it does not give abundance to some while withholding it from others based on arbitrary judgment. It is simply responding to the frequency of clarity and the frequency of expectation. If you are clear, and you are expectant, and you are willing to move, the universe is legally bound by spiritual law to deliver. The miracles we have discussed are not rare exceptions for special people. They are the natural results of the law being applied consistently. You are now standing in the evidence. You are no longer just a listener. You are a participant in the miracle. As we move into the final part of this journey, where we break the remaining chains of your old stories, remember that your feet must move where your words have led. Be bold in your asking and be swift in your moving. The floodgates are open, and the supply is rushing to meet the one who has the courage to call it home. We have reached the final gate of our spiritual journey through the divine treasury, and we have addressed the mechanics of the word and the precision of the name. But now we must deal with the deepest level of the work, which is the breaking of the invisible chains that have held you in bondage for decades. Some of you are dealing with money wounds that run so deep you barely notice them anymore, because they have become the very fabric of your personality. These are the stories you inherited from your parents, who struggled during hard times, or from a culture that romanticizes the starving artist, or from a version of religion that suggests poverty is a prerequisite for holiness. These stories are not your truth. They are chains, my dear, and it is time to break them once and for all. You must realize that you cannot walk into your abundant future while you are still bowing to the ghosts of your family's past. If your parents always said, "We can't afford that," or "people like us don't get ahead," you must recognize those statements as ancestral lies that have no place in the divine economy. You are not a victim of your lineage. You are a creator who has the power to start a new financial bloodline today. Let us clear up the most dangerous lie of all, which is the idea that money and spirituality do not mix. This belief is a wall of steel that stops the flow of gold before it can even reach your neighborhood. Money is a tool and an amplifier. It makes you more of what you already are. If you are a generous and loving soul, money will make you more generous and more loving, because it provides you with the resources to express those qualities on a grander scale. If you are a person of vision, money gives you the power to build that vision into a reality that blesses thousands. Money does not corrupt good people. It reveals character. If someone becomes terrible when they get money, they were already terrible. The money just gave them the freedom to show it. There is nothing spiritual about being broke, and there is nothing noble about being unable to pay your bills or provide for your family. Poverty does not make you more enlightened. It just makes you tired and stressed and limited in your ability to contribute to the world. God is the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills, and He is the creator of trillions of stars. Does that sound like a God who wants His children to live in lack? Scarcity is a human hallucination, but abundance is the divine reality. The universe does not have a scarcity problem. Look at the sheer extravagance of nature. When a tree produces seeds, it produces thousands more than are necessary for one new tree to grow. When the stars were placed in the sky, they were placed in numbers that the human mind cannot even comprehend. There is no stinginess in the infinite intelligence. If you are experiencing a shortage, it is never because the supply has run out. It is only because you have been too vague or too afraid or too stuck in lack thinking to call it home. Tonight we are ending the unclear communication. We are ending the vague wishing and the general hopes. We are stepping into the power of specificity. You are allowed to want money, and you are allowed to be abundantly and joyfully wealthy. In fact, it is your spiritual duty to be wealthy, because your prosperity is the evidence that the law works. You are a light for others to follow, and when you flourish, you give everyone else permission to flourish as well. Your abundance does not take away from anyone else's share, because the substance is formless and infinite. There is more than enough for everyone. So, tonight, right now, I am giving you your final assignment from the universe itself, delivered through me to you. You are going to put all of these principles into action. Before you sleep, you are going to sit with your numerical names and your specific missions. You are going to call your money by name with absolute authority. You are going to write down the exact amounts you need and for what purpose. You are going to speak them out loud, and you are going to thank them in advance as if they were already sitting in your bank account. And here is where we create the unstoppable wave of collective energy. I want you to comment below right now and tell me what specific amount you are calling in tonight. Do not be shy and do not be embarrassed. Write down the number and write down the purpose. Say, I am calling in $12,000 to be debt-free, or I am calling in $5,000 for my family's peace. When you put it into words in this community, you are signaling to the universe that you are no longer hiding in the shadows of lack. You are stepping into the light of declaration. When we all call our money by name together, we create a frequency that is absolutely magnetic. This is about more than just accountability. It is about participation in the divine flow. When you see others commenting their numbers, bless them. Say thank you for their abundance, because their success is proof that the system works for you too. We are children of an abundant universe that wants us to thrive, and when we align our expectations, we become unstoppable. If this message has resonated with you, and if you feel a shift in your spirit, then you must subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. We are just getting started on this path of transformation. Next week, I am going to reveal the secret language that makes opportunities chase you instead of the other way around. I am talking about the specific phrases that open doors and the way of speaking that makes the universe move mountains on your behalf. You do not want to miss it, because we are building a foundation of total freedom that cannot be shaken by the world. But for now, for tonight, your only job is to go home to your own consciousness and call your money by its exact numerical name. Stop with the fingers crossed and the hoping. Name your number. Give it purpose. Thank it in advance. Speak to it like it is already yours, because the secret that changes everything is that it already is yours. It was set aside for you before the foundation of the world, and it has just been waiting for you to get clear enough to receive it. You are not asking for favors, and you are not begging for scraps. You are claiming your inheritance. You understand now that specificity is power, and that your words are creative forces, and that your faith is the substance of the unseen. Money is not your problem, and it never has been. Unclear communication and poverty language were the problems, but those problems end tonight. From this moment forward, you speak a different language. You think different thoughts. You expect different results. You are finally operating as the powerful creator you were always designed to be. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but a commander of circumstances. Money is your faithful friend and your willing servant, and it is rushing to fulfill the order you have just placed. Watch with absolute wonder as the universe begins to move. Watch as the ideas come, and the opportunities appear, and the money shows up in expected and unexpected ways. Watch as your bank account transforms and your life expands. It is not because you got lucky, And it is not because you finally deserved it. It is because you finally understood how to speak the language of abundance. You finally learned to call your money by name. Your abundant life is waiting, and your money is ready to come home. All it needed was for you to call it clearly, specifically, and confidently. Now go do the work. The universe is listening, and the universe is responding, and darling, it is about to deliver in ways that will absolutely delight you. You are a beloved child of an abundant universe, and it is time you started living like it. Sweet dreams and walk in your wealth. As you step into your new life of abundance, remember to stay connected to this high frequency. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a lecture on the ancient laws of prosperity. Share this light with someone you wish to see thrive. Your journey through the secret door has just begun, and the universe is ready to deliver. Thank you for being here and walk in your wealth.